So are we ready? Let's go. So thank you, Maxim, for the announcement, but this is not Heike, this is Karsten from SE Consult. And yes, I want to explain a bit what the numbers one system integrator for identity and access management, what the role will be of our company in the ecosystem of Keyp. First of all, a little bit advertising our company. We are over 20 years old, have a lot of experience on identity and access management projects, have more than 250 consultants. I guess this figure is again outdated, so we have to change it every 2 weeks. I think we are about 260 consultants, 270 consultants meanwhile. And yes, what I think was also very important is that we have a lot of experience in driving identity and access management projects with small customers, but especially with DAX 30 companies. And yes, we are very successful in what we do. And with regard to the Keyp ecosystem, we are, let's say, the linking pin between the Keyp platform and the enterprises and the enterprise applications. So, yeah, meanwhile, we have spread out to the world a little bit. So, initially, we have been present in the DACH region, Germany, Austria, Switzerland. And meanwhile, we also have a dependence in the UK with 15 employees meanwhile. And we also have a presence in the USA. So, yeah, as you can see from line below, under the core brand SE Consult, we have different sub-brands like the IAM Works, XDI, and service layers, and that will I'll explain a little bit more what the specifics of these different brands are. In general, what are the things we are doing? What is the content of the projects that we're driving for our customers? We have started in the access management and federation business for big customers, for example, for Daimler and BMW. And if you do access management, the next question is how do you get the data in the system? So where's the system, where's the data stored about the users, which systems do they authenticate? So the next thing is identity lifecycle and provisioning, which we are implementing for these big enterprises. We have the opposite question also, like an enterprise doesn't know which entitlements and roles are provisioned to different systems. So the big question is, okay, to which systems do my employees have access? And that's the opposite questions, identity and access governance. So in this case, we're implementing systems that connect to the different data stores, user data stores, collect all the user data, entitlement data to do reporting on these entitlements. One very important thing that came up through the last 2, 3, 5 years is the consumer identity and access management. Where people want to get one view on their customers, want to have one customer data, one customer ID for the consumers, and collect all the data and link it to these customer IDs in order to get one view on the customer, to be able to do more focused marketing on these identities, for example. And over time, let's say, complementary technology has evolved that is also meanwhile in the portfolio of SE Consult, for example, API management and customer data management. So with regard to the whole SE Consult group, you can here see the different services that we are providing. So in the old SE Consult, let's say in the SE Consult branch, this is the company that provides implementation services and architecture for identity access management systems. The IAM Works then, let's say, takes over these systems when they get into production and cares for the 24/7 operations and for the second and third level support. The XDI is, and that's Heiko's stake. Heiko is responsible for XDI 360. He's in the strategy and business consulting. So to say, explain to the customers how they can use identity access management systems and how they implement these systems in the best way to fit to their business strategy. And yeah, the youngest branch is the service layers company, where we provide a hosted identity access management service that we are able to deploy on cloud infrastructure on a fingertip. It means just push a button, it takes us 15 minutes to deploy a complete identity access management stack. Okay, so what is specific to service layers? Because service layers is it's a direct partner where we support the Keyp ecosystems in a specific way. So what we provide as service layers is implementation services, it's hosting, and we also provide consulting services. So hosting means that we are able to host the Keyp platform and parts of the Keyp platform, and even are able to provide hosting for white-labeled Keyp platforms. We are providing the implementation of adapters. I will a bit more on that. And we also provide the consulting services that are necessary and the bigger enterprises ask for. So one, let's say, small example. We saw that very neat example or demo yesterday. So let's assume that as a consumer already, or person already verified him or herself with the Verily system. And I mean, that's good to have, let's say, the credentials and the information of the customer in the wallet. But now the next question is, how can we use this information to get access to an enterprise system, for example, the enterprise portal, or the example was a gambling website. Yeah, that's, let's say, the core business of service layers. We provide the necessary access management platform or technology so that the Keyp wallet or the Keyp information, the information that's kept in the wallet, can be used to access enterprise systems. To get a little bit more into detail, we have the Keyp platform, we have all the identity providers, hopefully various identity providers in the near future. And we have the Keyp wallet where the user can store his private information. And we have the enterprise connectors in the Keyp ecosystem that help us, that enable us to connect to the enterprise applications, portals. And the technology that we're talking about here are, for example, SAML and OpenID Connect. We're developing for the Keyp platform these standard adapters. So all the applications in the enterprise that speak this dialect or that are able to carry or process SAML tokens or OpenID Connect will then integrate automatically more or less with the Keyp platform. What is also important that a lot of enterprises, bigger enterprises especially, rely on access management on federation systems like those of Ping Identity or ForgeRock, which are partner companies of IC Consulting. And we are talking about we leverage product adapter or more product adapters that directly integrate with these access management systems. And as soon as we do such an integration, all the product features will also be available to our customers. For example, I think Ping Identity or Ping Federate has about 100 or 150 integrations already in place that can be configured, and as soon as you use this adapter and have the Ping Federate technology in place, you can integrate to 150 different technologies, and yeah, so it will open up the scale of integration for the Keyp platform very much. And what we can also do is, if you have in your enterprise some, let's say, old systems, legacy systems that use specific token technology or whatever, we are also able to implement legacy custom adapters to integrate these let's say, older platforms or non-standard platforms. Okay, so what I already stated was the kind of implementation services that we provide. We are providing these standard editors for access management systems, and we're also able to implement the legacy solutions. So we bridge the last mile to the enterprise. But there are some more things to consider. So Keyp provides the platform, but we will run the platform for you or for Keyp. That means we will also be providing hosting services. We will host their connectors, either enterprise connectors or custom connectors that we individually develop for your company. And we are also able to host the whole Keyp platform in case that's necessary. So one scenario could be that bigger enterprises ask for their own unique instance of the system, and they want us to operate this, and we're also able to do that. And yes, this is more our natural business. We are currently hosting Ping Federate and the Fortune Stack also on our platform, and we are able to deploy it in 15 minutes in a block. Yes, and I mean, around that there's a lot of things to be explained and to elaborate on. So the traditional business of SC Consult as a group is the consulting services around that. That means we, on the one hand, can implement individual access management solutions for your company, but we can also implement these connectors and explain how you can integrate these with your applications. And it's one additional case where we'll see if it's relevant for practically relevant. We can also do individual deployments of the Keyp platform in your infrastructure. Currently, it's not clear whether this case will happen very often, but it's also something that we will leverage. So, yeah, so these are the services that Service Limits, the integration partner for Keyp, will bring, and I think we are necessary and also important part of the whole puzzle. And we're really proud to be here together with Keyp. I think it's a great idea to have personal data in the wallet and the way you can integrate Keyp with your enterprise application. So, yeah, so we're proud to be here and happy to talk to you afterwards if you have questions. Just come to me. Thank you.